I did have a couple of people, especially Blood Money 47, reach out to me with like, "Oh no, this really happened on, this really happened on Jimmy's podcast, and they just didn't air it." So challenge really got to stop doing, man. So you guys hear that shit.
Are you cool to talk about this then?
Yeah, I'm cool to talk about it.
Okay. Are you okay if I talk about it?
Yeah, first off, like I've already established before, I do not speak for all Black people, but yeah, you can definitely talk about it, and it's okay if you have a feeling about it.
Well, it's just, I mean, I don't know. I always feel like I'm not allowed to have like opinions on certain things without like people thinking one way or another. But like it really upset me, and I don't know if it should, but I mean, like I feel like we can try and sugarcoat like life and be like, oh, like, some people like it's fair for everybody type thing, but it's like not like I can walk outside. I'm in the Midwest and like I can do whatever I want, walking around doing whatever. And nobody really judges me on my appearance. And then I feel like women already kind of get judged on their appearance like crazy. And then you turn around and then, somebody of color gets judged. But then I feel like when somebody like in Janelle's situation, because I believe she's mixed, right? She's like one of her parents is white.
I believe so, but I'm not 100% sure either.
So that's what I kind of read up on, and I'm not sure if that's true, but for somebody that's mixed, I feel like they get looked at even more because they get looked at from people that they relate to because, they share the same, culture backgrounds and everything, but they have something slightly different to them because of their family. But they still get judged from the other side too, because of who they are. So it's like they get judged by everybody, I feel like. And I don't know if that's true or that's just like from my like sense of trying to get a hold of everything in the world. It just seems like it's like not a fair go around for like somebody like Janelle,
100%. Oh, it's the wife. Give me a second to make her feel bad for interrupting me.
You podcasting?
I am podcasting. Mentioned it twice. What's up?
Okay, no, forget it then. Forget it.
Oh, no. It must be really, really important. Well, give me 1 second, Tyler. I'll be right back with you.
No, I'll call you.
No. You're already here. You might as well tell me now.
Well, check out, how much pastrami do we have?
1 pound. About 9 kind of thick pieces.
That's not going to be enough.
Of course not. And it costs $10.57, so it's a very good investment.
Well, I'll figure something out. All
right. Wait. What are we figuring out?
No, I'll figure out what I'm going to do with the pastrami.
Wait, no. I already know what I'm going to do with the pastrami. I'm going to make a fucking sandwich. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to save you 2 pieces, and you can do whatever you like.
Bye. You save me 2 pieces, I'm going to beat your ass.
That sounds like you're threatening me.
I am.
Okay. Don't worry. I'm going to record this and save it for the lawyers.
Okay.
All right. Love you.
Bye. Love you too.
Love you like a lobster loves melted butter. Talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye. Fucking pastrami. I told you I was podcasting.
I mean, hey,
before we get into the whole Janelle thing, let me ask you a question. You're somewhat active on, not really active, but you're on social media, right?
I see things, yes.
Now, do feel free to think about what you're going to say before you answer, because I'm not trying to get nobody into trouble, right? Okay, check this.
Appreciate.
Do you ever like photos or videos from people from the opposite sex?
No.
Never?
No.
Not even a little bit?
No.
Not even somebody famous?
Like, it would be like somebody that I'm friends with and like their kid. Like, it's like, oh, look at like blah, blah, blah. Then yeah.
When I talk about like thirst traps, say it's a female acquaintance from your college days. Never had nothing romantic with. But, she posts a picture and, hey, I'm out in Switzerland. She has a jacket on.
No. And here's the thing, to be honest, I don't even like things that often. Like when I like things on social media, it is not like a person doing a thing. Outside if it's like somebody that I watch like does like gaming streams. If I watch them and they're just like, thank you to everybody for supporting me, boom, I'll like that. But otherwise, like photos and stuff like that, nah.
See, what I do is I give the like, but if I really like it, I drop money bags.
Okay.
I feel like money bags can't be misconstrued by a lot of people. It says, "Hey, I like this picture. I think it's dope," but I feel like it's a good safe emoji to use.
Sure. No, I mean,
Free money bags if I really like it.
I think we should try and aim to be in like society as like who cares about anything really,
right?
But we're not. So
we sure not. That's why I drop money bags. And a big shout out to Malik's money bag girls. Y'all know who you are. Money bag, money bag, money bag. Y'all already know what time it is.
I feel like, I mean, like for me, really, it's honestly like I don't really like anything outside of like my wife posting stuff for like my kids. When I see stuff like that, but otherwise, nah, just like, oh, cool, and then I just keep going. Like,
see, I don't like a lot of like thirst traps or whatever, but I do love fitness pics or after workout pics. Those are my favorite because I work out and I mean the results haven't really been there as I would hope, but I love it when people work out. I love when people work to get healthy, and it's a way to kind of push fitness. I really, really do enjoy that.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, just wanted to make sure. Yeah. All right, moving on. Janelle and Ayanna. So basically, what we're talking about is, we talked about Ayanna making life difficult for Janelle during episode 2.
For no reason. For no reason.
Yeah, for no reason. Apparently, but a big shout out to Blood Money 47 and J Challenge for pointing this out. Said, so Janelle told Jemmy Ayanna was questioning her blackness and she wasn't black enough and calling Janelle racist. According to Janelle, it didn't air. I'm going to give my take on it first. Disgusting. Utterly disgusting. Colorism within the African-American community has always been there. That goes all the way back to the beginning of this country. It wasn't cool then. It isn't cool now. If somebody's black, they're black. And this is somebody with a biracial kid and biracial people in the family. And it's bullshit. You guys are too old for that shit, especially you, Ayanna, and it's wrong. It is just flat out wrong. It wasn't cool then. It's still not cool now. And in 2024, for all of the strides that we made as a society and as a people and as a country, stupid shit like this will hold us back. So,
the crazy thing too is that this episode tried painting a different picture. Like the editing is really putting Ayanna as like she's the calm one, she's in the right, and it's very interesting to all this information coming out because there's nothing wrong with Ayanna and like her character and everything like that. She's very loud, she's very outgoing, she's in your face. Those are things that we see as staples on the challenge, and we're okay with that. Everybody is okay with that. I think when you talk about a person's being of like stuff that is out of their realm of control and judging on those aspects, it is just, it's like, it's gross. It wouldn't matter if it was a man saying this or if it was somebody who's white or black or Asian or a woman. Like it to me, it doesn't matter. Like you're saying something that doesn't need to be said. There's no point or reason for any of these things to ever be a topic of conversation, let alone in a game that has nothing to do with real life.
These are facts. I agree with you then. Ayanna, stop the bullshit because it's not a good look. It makes you look bad. It makes us look bad. And it's just dumb and stupid, and I don't support that at all. That's not to say... Go ahead.
Real quick, sorry. I don't like doing that too, but do you know who makes fun of like things that people can't control, like physical appearance and stuff? Middle schoolers. That's like really, if we're being honest, that's who like points out flaws and stuff like, oh, you're 6'3", you're so tall, like you make fun of. I just grow up. Oh, you're 5'1". Like that's who makes fun of things that are out of the realm of people's control is middle schoolers, to be honest.
No, 100%. Grow the fuck up. All right, moving on. would you go ahead and bring this episode in?
Me bring this episode in, or you?
What, do you want to do it?
No, that's why I was confused.
You can go ahead and do it.
You know what?
Go ahead, take it away.
For all time's sakes. No, you do it. I'm just kidding. You got it.
All right, before I jump in, big shout out to Blood Money 47, and a huge big shout out to the Unbothered Facebook group and podcast. I'm not on Facebook nearly as much as I used to be, but every time my name pops up in there, it's always something positive. It's always something dope. You guys have always supported us. We will always support you. Thank you. We love you guys. 100%. Just a lot of love for you guys. Big shout out to Off the Hook podcast, the Breed Network, and Paige at the Most Likely To podcast. Big shout out to all of y'all. We love you guys. And of course, Game of Evan Pink Rose. I don't care what they say about you. You're always okay in my book. Tyler, how are they in your book?
I'm okay with people being people and doing whatever they want to do. In the spoiler community, if that's your thing, that's your niche, I'm okay with it. I do appreciate the Facebook groups or people on Twitter and everything that are like, hey, this is spoiler free. This one over here, this is fully loaded. Do whatever you want with it in this group. I appreciate those things because I believe everybody should be allowed to like and do what they want. Legally. And so, yeah.
Legally. All right, let me go ahead and bring it in. What's really good, podcasters? What's really good, posters? Welcome to another episode of Love, War, Challenges.
Can't see it.
I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Louder. This is The Hit List. What's really good? Gang, gang. Gang, gang. Oh, how did I fuck up my own intro? Like, haven't I been doing this for enough fucking years?
I mean, maybe you are just really wanting to get other podcasters to listen to us too, because we show love to others, and so show love back to us and everything. Let's make this a whole community.
And you know what? They a lot of people have invited me to appear on the podcast. I usually always try to do it if I can. I always end up fucking bailing out every once in a while for some dumb reason, but hey, life happens. But
you're a hot commodity, man, in the podcasting world with the challenge. Like, no, for real. Like, I mean, you've been on several different podcast groups. A lot of people know you. You go to Challenge Manias. You interact with challengers. If there's like a tier list of people that are in the challenge, I mean, the A's are the challengers, yeah. and then you could probably say like Challenge Mania. You're in the B group. You're right there.
Oh, wow. That's a really nice thing to say. Thank you. That's really sweet. I don't aim for that. But the interacting part, that's the part I love the most. Even if we're having different opinions or we have different faves, I love just talking to challenge with you guys because I really do love the challenge. I don't watch any other reality shows. Even things like House of Villains, I have other challengers or the traders. I haven't even really seen them. I do plan on watching them. I promise I will watch them. But I love interacting with you guys, love talking with you guys, love seeing the questions. So, and mind you, I'm a regular guy. I have a regular job, got a regular family. Actually, no, my family's pretty awesome. But also, reach out to me. Say what's up. I always say what's up back. I did at one point put my phone number out there. I never do that shit again. Yeah, I'm not fucking listening. Because I do love y'all, but some of y'all fucked up. Let me just say some of y'all fucked up and need some help. But moving on. As the episode begins, we get a shot of Cam and Leroy, Mrs. and Kids, and it says, her being a mother now changes her game. And to me, that just made the most sense in the world. Priorities have changed. It's a lot off of your alliances. Alliances are going to be the people who you're cool with in real life and your family in real life. It's Cam hitting it right on the money, how being a mother has changed the game.
I mean, it does, because I feel like you can't play like a sloppy cutthroat game when you have a family member, when you have a kid. The best example of this is like Derek K. Like, look at how Derek would play beforehand versus after he had a kid. Now Derek isn't like the most like mastermind strategic player, but if you're watching on like Gauntlet 2, he's getting mad that he's going into elimination when he's better than other people, and he's like verbally saying like, "No, say it to my face, say it to my face." And then he has a kid and he gets older, and you have somebody like Nelson getting in his face, and he's just like, whatever, like, like, so it does morph you. Those that can adapt to that gameplay they're that level of challengers, and it does because you're not trying to win some money so that way you can get yourself a new wardrobe and go on vacation to Cabo. I'm looking to set them up for their future, and so it adds a lot more pressure on you as well. We didn't talk about this though. Another episode in a row for a recap, and the previous winner of the elimination, technically Tina, recaps it all. And I'm telling you right now, this needs to be a mainstay in the challenge. I ended the last episode. I'm starting the next one. Like, that's gold, especially when we get somebody that like gets backstabbed and thrown in and then they win. That's going to be the best intro.
Yeah, that was really good. And the fact that Tina did it so well, she did it in the mirror, putting on makeup. Yep. So it looks like it was probably filmed like in the moment. I thought she did a great job at doing it too, and it was great to hear her voice in a narration kind of way. I agree with you. I think these are one of the things that All Stars is doing that should transfer over to the main show. And it doesn't have to be done every single time, but I'm liking what I see so far. So if it ain't broke, why fix it?
Absolutely.
All right, so moving on, we see that Ayanna and Rachel actually have a friendship, and Rachel's been helping her out in her fitness goals. I did not know this. Does this friendship surprise you? And do you think this is a question I asked when it happened, and we found out later on in the episode. I was going to say, do you think a Mean Girls Alliance really helps Ayanna?
I mean, having friends helps anyone, because just having people that don't say your name is the best way to stay in this game, because you can get last place every challenge. Every challenge, you could win the final elimination and be in the final. That's all you got to do. As long as you have enough people around you that are like, nah, I don't want to say your name, then you're good. So friends is good. When you can latch onto a group and you get 3 friends, that's huge, because realistically, this group, if we were to say like average dailies, that if you took 100 dailies, Veronica, Tina, and Rachel are more likely going to be in the middle group than not voting more than often. So yeah, it's a good thing.
I was really surprised by this friendship. I know, both of them are OGs. They go back a long way, but I didn't know Rachel has been, so helpful in her journey. And these are 2 pairs that, off the top of your head, you don't think would really fit together. And to see those 2 come together, I thought that was actually really, really cool. And, it's always great when they pull back the screen a little bit, pull back the curtain a little bit and let us see. Those home turf episodes, I haven't seen all of them, but I love them so far. Okay, granted, I only seen the first 2, which are some of my favorite people, and I can't wait to see the Darrell episode.
It humanizes these people that we see as TV characters, and so
100%.
it makes them more personable, more relatable. And I'm 100% going to say, Rachel's all about. She always has been about empowering women. That's what she's all about. Not saying she hates men and everything, but who knows? But like that's her almost go-to, is empowering women. And so I think especially when you see challengers that maybe are struggling with weight loss and they just want to get in better health and everything, and now you have a direct line like Rachel who will do that for anyone. It's a nice humanitarian thing to see, of like a real life situation, and it's not about the game. So
100%. All right, so moving on, we finally get an answer to the Cyrus question. Tony gets a phone call. Something's going on with his brother. He has to go home. Cyrus comes in to replace him. I'm not sure if there's a whole lot of news on exactly what happened. I'm sure, an interview will pop up, or maybe this is something, that he wants to keep private. It's a family thing. And for that, I can understand and respect. We do get Cyrus. Always excited to see Cyrus. Very likable guy, a true OG in every sense of the word. So I'm very happy to see him. Very, very sad to see Tony go. We waited so long to get Tony back. He's always been really, really likable, even when he's had some of his worst moments. It was great to see him come back. It's great to see Cyrus come back, and it's sad to see Tony go, especially under these circumstances, because to me, I really thought he would have been a finalist this season. How do you take Tony's departure and Cyrus's arrival?
So, I mean, it sucks to see Tony go, because we have been wanting to see him for quite some time. And realistically, too, it's that Tony's always the type of guy, and you alluded to this. It's like he can do something that you're just like, oh, come on, man, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? And then you still end up liking him at the end of the day. I don't know what it is. And I'm sure to some of his like close personal friends, that's super upsetting. They probably get in a fight back when they were younger at like 10 p.m. going out downtown. And then by 1:30, they're hugging and everything and they're cool. It sucks to see him go, especially he just won a daily. I thought he was legit the front runner from the men's side. So, I mean, for all of them, it's fantastic for all of them. And then they bring in Cyrus, who it's a double-edged sword. Like Cyrus is great in commentary. He's great in social. He's always going to give you the right thing to say to make an entertaining show. But ever since he won, he's slowly been on a decline every season since he won. And that's a long time ago.
Yeah, these are facts.
He looks healthier, though. He looks a lot healthier.
He does look healthier. He looks great. The thing is, hate to say it, because this is All-Stars, for a lot of people who we would say, oh, that ship has sailed, he's one of the guys who you think would really, really be good in this, and he seems to go out quicker and quicker every time he comes back. Here, he was just here for a split second, and, he's gone. He finds himself coming in and being targeted early. And he said it best: when you come in midway or you come in as a replacement, you're easy voting. So,
I think what they should do is that if somebody like this shouldn't have been a double elimination, this should have just been another female elimination. And then like if you come in, you should get that elimination off. Like you should just get a bye into the next episode to get your feet in the ground. Because all they're doing is saying, here comes a replacement, and they're automatically going to vote it in, so don't even worry about the rest of the episode, guys, because this is what's going to happen. Like, it doesn't seem too fair, because I think it happened to Cara on Rivals 2 when she came in to replace. They went into elimination, so it's like you got to give replacements a little bit of footing in the game. It's not truly fair.
Yes. Are these one of the little challenge things that exist for challengers that are just, part of the, part of the lore or part of the tradition? If you're coming in, is it fair? No. Is it part of the challenge? Yeah. Not the best part, but.
Not all of them, though, because when Abram and his brother came in on Bloodlines, his brother was like, Mike's like, yeah, I think it was Mike. He's like, yeah, I'll go into elimination. And they were like, no. Donnie's like, you're not going in. I don't want you in. And so it's a weird situation, because more than likely it's just like, hey, okay, here's what it is. For those challengers that play scared games, that's the routine. Oh, you're the new person, you go out. Whether it's you're a rookie in episode 1 or you're somebody coming in to replace somebody in episode 3. It's the coward's way to play. Realistically, somebody should be like, yo, Cyrus, come over here. You're with me. You're under my umbrella. I'm going to latch onto you. We're going to work together. We're going to get out this target. And then I'm going to replace somebody that's my enemy with somebody that's my friend. That's what you should do with replacements. They have so much power. They're the middle ground. They don't have anybody they're latched to. Everybody should be pulling for that person. But for some reason, the whole house just goes, nah, let's keep our numbers the same. Just get rid of them. So
100%. It's an easy vote. And every time you have somebody saying somebody else's name, that's 1 week they're not saying your name. So, I kind of get it. But let's go ahead and move into the daily. Yeah. Look at that. See? Great minds think alike, man. Anyway, today's daily is called Domino, motherfucker. And I absolutely love that. I love the cursing and the HD part. All Stars has a lot going for it. But basically, all of the challengers they have a shared domino, and they have to build 10 dominoes that get them to the shared domino. And there's 2 dominoes in the group that doesn't match and won't work for them. One of the greatest, and I'm sure you love this too, and I think we just talked about this too. TJ was like, all right, you guys pair up. It's a paired elimination. You're like, all right, guys, paired up, and it's a double elimination. Did you like the fact that they got to pair themselves up?
Yeah, I mean, there's always 2 sides to it, because it's like, you see Jay and Nicole pair up because they're in alliance together, they're friends, they work together. But then you see Leroy going, Cam and I can't be on the same, because then it's going to be an easy target if we lose. So you see the strategy in it. I do like the randomness though, because you don't see realistically, like Rachel and Brad paired up right away. When you're looking at the pairings, you should have went, oh my God, that's a better team than anybody else.
Right.
Like they both won the duel too. If Rachel contributes a little bit in that second part. If anybody doesn't know, for context, real quick, they had to dig dirt out of like a train little thing, and Rachel just sat on the ground and let Brad dig everything out. So he was gassed. Let Evan keep up to him, and then Evan beat him by like 10 seconds. Whereas if not even like 2 seconds. Whereas if Rachel would have helped a little bit, Brad would have won his first championship. Anyways. But you see like that pairing, and then all of a sudden you go to the next pairing, and you're like, wait a second, Cyrus is with, and he was with Ayanna, right?
Right.
And I was like, man, that doesn't seem too fair in terms of like conditioning. But then again, it's really interesting how they picked. Like Cara's with Ace, that's random. Leroy's with Flora, that's random.
Yeah, he was just like, she said she's gonna give her best. That was good enough for me. I'm like, is it? Is it though?
I mean,
have you seen a challenger who gives less of a fuck than Flora? Which actually is part of her appeal and why she's likable this season, likable to a degree. But we also don't expect really nothing from her. Like, we don't expect her to come in and just like blow shit up. Maybe Leroy should have expected the same.
They talk about this in Survivor a lot, and it's called like controlling your threat level. Because if you expose yourself as like too big of a threat to win the whole game, you're going to get voted out earlier than you should. So you have to like manage it somehow. Flora's threat level is at the very bottom of the list. Nobody's even like, in my mind, the first elimination should have been like, if he could have been eligible, is like Kefla's going in. He hasn't been around for Kefla, hasn't been around for the longest. First female elimination, Flora's going in. She hasn't been around for the longest. I know the way they vote is dictated by certain things, but like they're not like, Flora's not even a name. Like one person said her name this episode and they were like, nah, she won't send blah, blah, blah home. So I don't want her to go. Like,
yeah, talk about flying under the radar.
It's a smart move. And you know what? Connecting with Leroy, Leroy's a great partner to have in challenges.
Yes, he's a great partner.
Historically, he's very calm. He's collected. He understands his role. This challenge was a really good challenge. I thought it was fantastic.
I would say the same too. I've really, really enjoyed this challenge. I
don't know why more people didn't just like, okay, we got to get blah, blah, blah. Let's lay them all right now and build where we got to go. Like some people were just like randomly going. Yeah. And I think that's what caught like Rachel and Brad.
Yeah, it really bit them in the ass. And then you get like, Jay and the coach are like, hey, we're going to just start working backwards. So little strategies like that can really make or break. That's something like somebody like Jordan would have figured out like almost instantly because he's so good. Yeah, especially those two. They are just magnificent at adapting to seeing something and adapting to it pretty quickly. It's one of the things it's one of the reasons why they're champs, and it's one of the reasons why they're elimination beasts. Particularly Jordan in that. The way he's able to put something together and come up with a strategy and adapt that strategy is really something we don't see enough of the challenge, and it's one of the best things about him as a challenger. And I'm going to stop complimenting this guy because sometimes I forget that I fucking hate him. God damn, he's just so goddamn good.
It's respecting the player in the game.
I do respect Jordan as a player in the game, and I do respect the way he plays the game. How fearless he is when his name is called. I mean, give us 5 Jordans every season, and Jesus Christ, and he knows how to make drama. So that's enough complimenting him.
We kind of have a comparison on this, and I'm not sure if she would like this and everything, but Cam is very similar. Just like I'm gonna call it how it is. I'm gonna find ways to win when I probably shouldn't win, and I'm gonna just like, I don't care if I go against you. Like, I'm not taking anybody out. Like, Cam is kind of that female equivalent to me as Jordan, where not the same person, but gameplay style of just like not afraid to call your shot. You can do pretty much anything, and if you lose, you lose with dignity and honor.
Exactly. All right, so the winners are going to be Avery and Adam, and then Cara, Ace, Nicole, and Jay. Jay's doing great this season so far. Mm-hmm. Shout out Short King, you go. Jazz and Steve, shout out Jazz. People always count you out and look at you in the winner's circle. And Cam and Ryan, which is going to be good. Now, after this, Ayanna says to Brandon, and I just want to make sure I got it right. She goes, Brandon, Kefla, Derek, and Leroy are going to be up. Said a lot of people want to bring Cam and Leroy up.
She says this. It's caught on camera. Other people hear it.
Exactly. And here goes the funny thing. Like I said yesterday, she's not 100% wrong either. This is another thing that I think she got right. But her saying it and saying it like this is a general observation, you're saying what hasn't been said. And so it's on you as saying it. So I get that she probably didn't mean that we have to get Cam and Leroy out, but her saying it kind of verbalizes that. And sometimes the things you say, your words have power, and your words can make things happen. And I think this is a case of that. In her defense, somewhat, I don't believe that that was her intention. I don't believe she was trying to get people like, hey, let's get Cam and Leroy out. I believe she was saying, these are going to be the people who's going to be targeted. But in her saying that, you are making it real.
So you have to, it's all about your positioning. Like if you're in a good alliance and you're winning, you can say, hey, those two are a pairing. You can say that. When you're in the middle or the bottom, you can't say something about somebody at the top because you're vulnerable in that state. But if you want to say it, I'm surprised more challengers don't play dumb and just like walk into a room and be like, oh, man, yeah, good job today, Malik. That was a really good challenge and everything. Man, you know what I noticed? Like those two are always by each other. That's weird, isn't it? And it's like, oh yeah, well, yeah, they are a couple and everything. It's like, do you think they'll ever like go against each other or they're going to stick together for their whole end? And then I get you to go, oh, you're right. They're never going to vote against each other and they're always going to. And I get you to say it in front of other people. And then I just go, I can't believe I never even thought of that. Just like play dumb, just play dumb and get other people to say things for you. You can, as I know we shouldn't keep bringing up post challengers, but Leroy should know this and everything. As Wes said, I didn't pull the trigger. I just loaded the gun, showed you how to use it, and you pulled the trigger. But yeah, I'm surprised more people don't like. If you want to get out a power couple and you want to go against somebody, just get somebody else to say it. You know.
Exactly. And we're going to come back to this, clean this up a little bit when it becomes a thing.
Right.
One thing I want to jump on before that is Rachel and Cara has a talk. You know, they talk a little bit of gameplay. These are also another two challengers that go back, haven't really worked together, but they have a lot of respect for each other, and they're both star holders. And Cara brings up some kind of unwritten rule that fellow star holders are looking out for each other. What do you think? Good idea, bad idea?
I mean, it's a good idea on surface because it's just like, oh, you have a star, don't come from me and I won't come from you. But eventually there's only going to be so many people available and it's going to go out the window. Like, so it's a very early game strategy. It's a conservation type strategy at the very beginning. But once we get past episode 4, I don't think that strategy will work anymore. I think we're going to see star holders go for star holders because they want other people. And again, we just had Tina do this to Avery. Strong holder, strong armor. And now we have Rachel and is like, well, if you vote me in, like I have no reason not to take your star. It's like, man, this like strong arming people thing is so risky because like you could make them mad and they get everybody else to vote for you. But if it works, like it did, yeah, it kind of plays, but that's 2 now. Like I'm just waiting on Veronica to strong arm somebody now.
It's nice to know that the Mean Girls are still kind of the Mean Girls, even though
up to their name.
I would say though, it does have one thing that I do like about it, and like I said before, I'm only calling them Mean Girls because as an ode to how they used to play. One of the things I do like is a lot of the nastiness that took place back then does seem gone. And I do like that. Even though it is strong arming and it is a form of threatening, it's a lot more surface level and it does seem a lot less nasty. And I do enjoy that. Even though this is the challenge and to some degree we do like our nastiness. We do kind of need it and it is part of the game. On a people level, I do prefer this as opposed to straight up nastiness and getting personal.
So fun fact or fun trivia time. So Rachel and Cara have only done 1 season together before this. Do you know what season that was?
Was it Arrivals?
It was not Arrivals. No. Rachel was never on Arrivals.
Okay. It was before Invasion of the Champs.
It was before Invasion of the Champs. It was before Cara ever won. It was before Free Agents.
You got me because it's hard for me to think of that last one.
X's won. because Cara was with Abram and Rachel was with Anissa. Yep.
Shit, Rivals won.
Because the last time Rachel was around was on the island, or no, was Duel 2. And then she took like a long break, and in that time, Cara came on and had been on like every.
That's right. Duel 2 was season 14, I believe.
Duel 2 was season 16.
No, I think the island was 16.
So Duel 2 is 17.
17.
And then 18 is
Ruins.
The Ruins. 19 is Fresh Meat. 20 is Cutthroat. 21 is Rivals.
Oh, all right. I chipped in during that whole little list.
There we go.
I helped. Yay!
All right, fun fact. But let's go ahead and move on to these nominations.
Yes, these nominations. All right. So Cyrus going in was an easy pick. Kefla being such an easy pick, like I get it. I thought he kind of earned a little bit of gameplay currency for how he's been able to perform. Find out he didn't. Which was a little bit surprising. I thought there was a couple better people to vote in.
It was bound to happen eventually with is it Kefla or Kefla?
Kefla,
okay.
Did I say Kefla?
I think you said Kefla, but I think I've said Kefla too. But so Kefla, I think it was, like I said, it was bound to happen. I kind of alluded this a little bit earlier. It's just time. It's going to happen. We saw this in the past with like Latarian, and we've seen it like when Steve came back. It's just like when these guys take long breaks and everything, they're kind of susceptible to getting called in because it's no blood on people's hands because they don't actually have a relationship with them. Also, what's good about that is that Cyrus and Kefla are two of the easiest people I ever voted in history because they're really both like, all right, cool, I got to go prove myself. That's cool. Like they both just were so understanding about it. And then like on the other side, you get Ayanna gets thrown in and she is all mad that like Cam, set this whole thing up when really there's clearly an alliance going on between like Leroy, Cam, Jasmine, Brandon. There's a couple of the names there I'm missing and everything. There's clearly a group that doesn't like Ayanna's tactics because of what we talked about earlier, with Janelle.
Right. And right before we get into nominations, this is brought out on club night. Word gets back to Cam. Cam is like, I'm going to address it. And we just talked about this, making yourself a target right before a vote. When you go in, you make a huge uproar right before a vote. You kind of just putting yourself out there. Now, I like Cam. I know I've ran afoul of Cam stands a little bit. I never had a problem with Cam. Some of your stands, you do a lot, but I get the passion. I do get the passion. Yeah. I get it. Some of y'all fucking insane, but I get the passion, and we support y'all. Cam is not dumb. She's very self-aware. I love the way how she played this.
She's calculated.
Yes, she played this super like, hey, I just wanted to discuss with you the things I heard, and like you said, I'm gonna load the gun. I'm gonna give it to you. And I think she knew that Ayanna was gonna do this. I think she was betting that she was going to do this. And I think she played her role of, hey, I just had a question and just wanted to get this from you and let Ayanna do Ayanna things. I don't think it was by accident. I think she did that perfectly.
Oh, it's all by design. But the interesting thing is like, if anybody ever hears this, let's say somebody's listening and they end up being on whatever show and then they get cast on a challenge. Somebody ever confronts you about, did you say this? You have three options here. One is do what Ayanna did and make yourself an even bigger target. Two is to just admit to it, but just in a different way. Where literally you can just be like, yeah, I kind of thought about it because I'm just like worried. I was like, I thought you and I were close, but I realized like I'll never be above Leroy. And then you're close to those people. So like I'm number 5 or 6. So like I just got really worried that like maybe you won't have my back as well as I did, and flip the script. And they were like, no, we're cool. And then just be like, okay, you know what? I have nothing to worry about. You guys are good to me. I'm cool. Like just lie that way.
Yes.
Or number 3 is you just kind of be like, well, if you ain't got no proof of it, I didn't, I did it. I didn't do it. Whatever. Just lie about it.
Yes, because that's always worked out so well. Production went ahead and just started playing the clips of her actually saying it.
Immediately.
But also, bringing it back to what I said before, I think a little bit of clarification. Yeah, I said it, but I didn't say it like to set you up. I was saying it as in kind of just saying out loud. Like, I think this is the way it's going to go. Not that I hope that this is how it's going to go, or I'm working for it to go this way. That was me just trying to deduce how this vote was trying to go. And, I know people may have heard that and that's what they thought, but hear it from this horse's mouth. I'm telling you, this was my intention. This is why I said what I said, and this is exactly what I said. And the intention behind it.
I like how she's like, Brandon, did you hear me say it? Brandon's like, I haven't spoke to you in 3 days. Cut to an interview. Oh my God, yeah, she did. Like, I heard it.
That was fucking hilarious. And Leroy and Cam are perfectly in the right of just like, we're not going to throw the people who told us under the bus because
that's how you make your lines that much stronger.
Yeah, 100%. Because like, hey, it all came to a head, and I didn't drop your name. You got to always protect your sources. Always got to protect your sources. When we get to the nominations, Cyrus and Keefla are put up. Not happy about with the Keefla side. Not really happy about that. Thought he should have had a little bit more currency. Guess he didn't. Ayanna is heavily voted in, but there's one part. Okay, so let's get to this nomination. So, and I said earlier, when it came to big predictions for future episodes, I said Cam is going to make a move to consolidate power. Also said the Mean Girls are also going to do this, even though I think Cam will have better results. And I love how this episode played out. Cam makes a very bold move to consolidate power. She's like, hey, I really hope you guys have it. She put everybody on Front Street. Hope you guys have my back. I want Ayanna and I want Rachel. And for the most part, people give in to her because it's easy to vote this way because once again, it's a vote for not your name or it's somebody big in your alliance.
But it also gets rid of somebody that's annoying everybody, or it gets rid of a top 5 physical threat. So it was
an easy vote to do that.
Yeah.
And shout out to Cam for finding a perfect time to pull this move. It's not going to hurt a lot of people. People already kind of want her out. People are going to think, hey, this works for me too. And it consolidates your power a little bit. And I think it's going to be one of the things that's going to shoot her up in the power ranking for the season. So big shout out to her. Where we're seeing some of the clashing is coming in is Cara, who's also trying to look out for Rachel a little bit. She goes and burns her vote on Flora. And Cam gets tight. There's some things on this that I like and I don't like. In Cam's defense, I get why she doesn't like this. If we're going to vote Ayanna in, there's no point in putting her... And I said this specifically about people like Jordan and CT. If you're going to try to get them out and you're going to vote them in, don't vote them in and then put in a scrub for them to go against.
Right.
You got to put in a heavy hitter, unless it's no point. There's no point in having these people try to come after you because you didn't take the right precautions for putting them in. Cam is 100% right. If you're going to put her in, you can't put in Flora because if Flora goes in, she's going to get the floor fucking white with her, and then we're going to have another problem, and she's going to be motivated to come and take our head off. I get Cara's position on it. Hey, I'm looking out for this person, and I'm going to give you some of what you want. I'm going to give you Ayanna because that's what you want, but you can't have Rachel because I'm going to look out. I don't think Rachel was in that big of a problem. I originally didn't think that Rachel was going to be big on going in, but Cam was able to consolidate that power and get it going for her. So I get both sides. How do you feel about how this little schism between Cara and Cam played out?
I mean, I think Cam normally says what she wants and gets her way. And she didn't fully get it, which makes me think by the edit that Cara wasn't the final vote. Because if she was, it wouldn't have been a big deal because Rachel had 5, Flora only had 3 after Cara voted, which makes me think that Cara voted earlier than what they show us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because why else would Cam be mad? Be like, all right, cool, Rachel's already in. Cara, your votes don't matter, but you technically have to say them. You know what I mean? Like that's how it should have been. And Cara could have just said, I can't say Rachel's name because I already agreed to that, so I can't do that. But she explained herself very well. I gave you Ayanna. That's what I'm giving you. I'm not breaking my word, showing Cam, like, when I give you my word, I'm not going to break it either. I'm just not going to vote exactly who you want. This is an individual game. And the difference between a multi-time finalist and really good challenge competitor and somebody like Cara, who's a multi-time champion and several-time finalist, is the fact that she understands where she sits in the pecking order. Her and Cam might be tight. Her and Leroy might be close, but she will never be top 5 in that alliance ever. Cara knows this.
Big
and Cara's okay to play just a little bit on the outside of the circle and, move forward. I'm going to give you what you want, but I'm going to give me what I want, and that's what's going to happen, and it's not going to hurt anything.
I'm fine with Cam not really liking this. I thought she took it a little bit personally, and it probably didn't need to be voiced as much. Take a mental note and keep that in mind. So if it comes down with between the Cara and Rachel again, okay, but
Cara would never vote in Rachel, though. That's not how Cara plays this game. Cara looks at, okay, what if we get paired up and it's female-female? I want the best female on my team. I don't want to get rid of all these beasts, because Cara knows she can beat Rachel in a final. She can beat Laurel in a final. She can beat Cam in a final. She can beat Nicole in a final. Already done it. She's not worried. She wants to get to the final, so it's not about just, this isn't even trimming the fat. Cara's like for some people, like that's only way Cara plays. Let's get rid of the weakest people. That's how we play, because she knows she can beat everybody. Cara never plays a scared game. Not saying Cam is right now, but Cara never plays a scared game. That's I think what has always been the appeal of her.
And I don't think Cam is playing a scared game. I just thought she took that move a little bit more personally than what she needed to.
Yeah,
I don't see a big shakeup coming between these two right now. But I do think just the fact that she took that as personally as she did, I think those two are going to end up going out the butt heads more sooner than later.
Yeah, Cam doesn't forget.
No.
She remembers everything. Like, literally, CT didn't pick her at the beginning. He was like, I don't know if I should pick you. I kind of want to pick her. And Cam's like, that's it. You're dead.
You're dead to me. All right, let's go ahead and move on to this really, really exciting elimination. It's going to be Ayanna versus Rachel, which, it always sucks when two friends have to go together. I was really interested to see how this plays out, too, especially once we were able to see what the elimination was. And it's going to be Cyrus versus Keefla. The men are up first. The name of this elimination is called... Oh, shit. Did you get the name? Down the Two, which I like to call Safe, Spinny, Ball-Induced Hall Brawl.
This is a safer Hall Brawl. This is a much safer Hall Brawl. We still get the head-to-head with the ball in the way, but it doesn't just like if somebody like Fessy was in this, he necessarily wouldn't just run straight through everybody, because you can kind of anchor yourself on the walls to kind of keep that ball from going. I think it's a good adaptation.
I would agree. I actually believe it's a great adaptation. It's still physical, but the chances of somebody getting hurt, the ball is spinning, makes it the tube is spinning, making it nice to look at. You get wonderful angles. I really think that this is a really, really great elimination, and I hope we get to see more stuff like this too, because like you said, this is head-to-head. It's still physical, but it's also going to be a lot safer, especially for the All-Stars, where some of these people are 50 years old and can break a fucking hip.
But you also can't see exactly what the other person's doing. Like in a regular Hall Brawl, you can be like, oh, they're going go back to Battle of the Seasons, and you got CJ versus Zach.
Yeah.
Zach goes really low, CJ jumps.
Yeah.
But in this, you couldn't know exactly. That's why Cyrus got beat so quick on the first one, because he didn't know where he was at. He was too high, and so when he hit him, he bounced back. Where if he saw Keefla going low, he could match it, and so he does get owned. Keefla has this. They called him a pit bull. Oh boy,
100%. Keefla smoked Cyrus in this. I thought it was really great to see. I thought he did really, really well. I thought Cyrus fought very, very hard. I think this is just Keefla having the better strategy and more of a drive to go in. He had a lot on the line. And the fact that after he gets the win, he pretends like it's an injury and it goes into the little dance. Fucking hilarious. That thing had me dying. And mind you, I watched this episode at like 5:30 this morning. And I am howling in my living room, trying not to wake the rest of the family as they get ready for their day. I thought it was just great. I thought a lot of great moments. It was a great fight, great elimination. I hope we see an elimination like this every single season. This was great.
Keefla showed that he is somebody you don't want to mess with. I like that Cyrus called himself out for only being there for a day and got sent home right away. He is on a list of people. Like if you're ranking them who lose with dignity and grace, he is at the top of that list. He is.
Losing with class is just as important as winning with class.
And Brandon pointed out really well. He's like, yeah, Cyrus has been working out, and he chose the wrong challenge to lose all that weight on.
100%.
Yeah.
Such a great quote. And the weight thing is one of the things that, once I saw the elimination, I started looking at, oh, wow, Rachel versus Ayanna, this can go in a very different way.
And it started to.
Yeah. I love the fact that Ayanna put up such a great fight. And we do know her to be a fighter, and we do expect her to fight pretty well. And if you're going to do this kind of elimination, Rachel is not the worst opponent to have. Yes, she's a pit bull. Yes, she's super strong. Yes, she's super fit, got a whole lot of stamina. But your weight can really be a really big X factor to push it. And to see Rachel fight through that and get the win, and Ayanna fighting so hard. I mean, not a big fan of some of her behavior on the show. But she does have a lot of likable qualities. There's a reason why people are drawn to her. But seeing her fight so hard, these are the things that make, not that other shows don't have people fighting hard or don't have passion, but these are one of the things I feel like the challenge is so great at capturing. These moments, even though it was a losing effort, it was just great to watch, and you almost feel a little bit lucky to be able to get to watch this in this manner.
This is why the challenge is better than Survivor. It's better than Big Brother. It's better than any other reality TV show competition, because on all those other ones, everybody can be a coward and just write somebody's name down or vote somebody off, and then they don't have to deal with them. We're here in the challenge. You have to call your shot. You have to vote them. You have to say their name. But then they have a redemption to come back into the house. So it's a lot riskier than just like, hey guys, let's get together and say their name, and then they're gone and we never have to deal with it. That's what makes the challenge so great. When you get eliminations like this, I mean, seriously, Cyrus and Ayanna both have went through some serious weight loss and built up some strength and everything to get healthier, and it bit both of them. It really did affect them. And Rachel right here is more than just like a legacy player, just like a remembrance of a great player, oh man, she used to be such a beast. She showed everybody that she is still that good. She is the original OG freaking, I don't even know what to call them, just like freaking Wonder Woman. She's the original Wonder Woman of the challenge, and she showed exactly why.
Yeah, 100%. Back in her prime, she instilled fear, and I'm glad that a lot of these people who's playing All-Stars right now still remember that. But let's go ahead and move into the post-game. Keith Listel's Brad Star, which I'm okay with. You guys don't really have much of a relationship.
He's closer to Steve, so it makes sense.
And so TJ says Rachel has to steal a star. And she takes Tina's star and gives it to Veronica.
Before we talk about the gameplay, Tina, the character, is so entertaining. 100%. I worked so hard for that star. It's almost like she was listening to our podcast last week and then reflected on it.
100%. And just so great to watch. Knows when to catch the moment. Her and Keefla had me howling, towards the end of this episode. And I thought it was great, and I love the way how she took it. I don't know if that was a pre-planned strategy, if they discussed it before. I mean, you're taking it from one friend, giving it to another friend, so I do kind of see the gameplay aspect of it. It does make sense to me in a way, and you don't get to piss off Cara. Which I think is smart, because she said she was going to look out for Cara, and Cara did make sure that Rachel didn't get that vote to go in. So I do get it. Cam is just flabbergasted that this actually happened. Don't know why. Do you think Rachel maybe should have taken a men's star? I don't think she really has a huge, strong male counterpart to vote for. I do think this is one of the better moves. You're taking it from a friend and giving it to another friend, so there's really no hard feelings. And no one's coming after you. I thought she made the right move. I don't get Cam being so flabbergasted about why this happened.
I feel like most people didn't really understand this move, and it took time. Immediately, my first reaction was like, this is the smartest move you could have made.
Mine too. I watched this episode 3 hours ago.
Yeah, I don't ever look at Rachel as like a super strategic player that like is making all these moves and everything. But by you didn't make Steve mad. You didn't make Cara mad.
If anything, you solidified that with Cara just a little bit more.
Right, yeah, and same with Steve. You were like, they both did good to me. And Tina's not going to be mad because you gave it to Veronica. And there's so much game left. If you take it from Cara, now you have a battle against Cara forever. If you take it against Steve, Steve has something against you forever. Tina isn't going to do anything at you because Rachel's going to go back in probably and have to win a star for Tina too. So that's what's going to end up happening. I think it was smart because realistically, you just need to be there at the final four. When you're out there at the final four, that's when you can be like, sorry, Cara, you're going in and we're taking your star. Like, that's when you can do it if you want the Mean Girls to go into a final together.
100%. Now, let's go ahead and get into Tyler's top 5. This is your top 5 power ranking, male and female combined. Tyler puts it together. I tell him why he's wrong. All right, so yes. Your top 5 reads as Rachel, Cara, Cam, Keefla, and Adam. Okay, so first off, I don't hate your top 5. Rachel and Cara being 1 and 2 makes sense. Cam makes sense. Even though she doesn't have a star, she did make a bold move, consolidating power. Could definitely see why she's up there. Keefla, also I think, like I said, in my opinion, he earned a lot of currency in the way he's been playing these last 2 episodes. Good, and now he's won an elimination. He got himself a star, so it definitely makes sense. So what the fuck is Adam doing up there? I mean, he made a couple of cute, quirky comments.
He got a star and was one of the winners in episode 1. Then he came back and won this one as well with a partner now. That right there is all. He's won twice. His star hasn't been taken. He's been pretty safe. Now all the OGs kind of have stars, right? There's some of them. He seems like in a safe spot. And he just performance-wise. That's why Adam's there. It's performance-wise, 100%. Like, he hasn't had to get his hands dirty at all. And both times he's needed to, here's the thing about this. When did he lose? On a female elimination day. So when his butt was at risk, he's won and been safe. So he's 2 for 2 in that. So I have to give credit to that. There's nobody else really that I can kind of put there. On
the male side?
On the male side, Jay is just on the outside. But my ranking isn't I need to get men or women in there.
Right.
If 5 women were at the top, they'd be at the top. It'd be simple as that. And same with men. So, but for Rachel, I just think Rachel made the best gameplay move I've seen her ever make in her entire challenge career. I think that she looked every part like a dominant, threatening competitor that she is, and she moved up the list for me. She is now the number 2 best female challenger in this season right now. I think it's Cara, then her. That's who's fighting. I think Laurel's 3, Cam's 4, Nicole fell down to 5 for me, competitor wise. And then Cam literally said, another vote. Cam goes, I want this to go like this, and it does. If Cam ever ran for president, man, everything she want, she'd be like, this is what I want policy to be, and it'd get done.
And all she's doing is asking for it. So big shout out to Cam and the way she's playing the game. I do think she's putting herself in a position where she's going to have to keep power the whole entire time. Mm-hmm. And keeping power can sometimes be so much more exhaustive than gaining power. So really hope she does that. I also do agree with you. I do believe Jay is right on the outside. I do think he's going to have to go into elimination and to get himself a star, to keep himself safe, and to climb up in the power ranking. But for All-Stars episode 3...
Avery's just below
I would say
Jay
Avery too.
As well. Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Avery. Avery I've always liked her. I didn't like how the whole thing with Johnny played out, because Lord knows it's probably a little bit more in-depth than what was given to us by, the Bananas crew and all. But I really just love seeing her go, and I love the way she's playing this game. But that's all I got for episode 3. Anything else you wanted to go over before we go ahead and get up out of here?
This season's starting to heat up. We talked about it. We want a little chaos, and the preview for the next episode, I broke my rule and I watched it, and it looks like we're getting some drama. So
I really didn't see a whole lot. I didn't really see a whole lot to go on when it came to that preview. Did you get anything from it that's gonna
it's just unknown. It's just unknown drama. That's the intrigue. We don't know who it's about. It looks like maybe it's Rachel and Tina, but it's probably not. Looks like it could be a little, Cara, somebody else involved. But you know what I mean? We don't exactly know, and that's the best part, is that we have to wait and see who's gonna yell at who.
Sounds good. Well, With that said, that's going to do it for All Stars Season 4, Episode 3. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter at LWC Podcast. Follow us on Facebook and TikTok at Love War Challenges. Listen to Love War Challenges Podcast on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app. Jesus, I got to take off the Google Podcast part. Because I have it written down, I just read it. But yeah, Google Podcast is going to be no more. With that said, I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Louder. This is Love War Challenges, the hit list. Peace out.
Bye.